One of the things that is really great about Cadence doing the cabinetry side in our own wood shop in conjunction with our renovations is that when you do run into issues, and you will from time to time, you have the cabinetry order ready for install and then during demo something doesn't go the way you want, or you need to make a change, or sometimes something with the cabinetry comes and it's not correct. You know, we thought we had it right and we got it wrong. One thing that makes Cadence a real benefit to pretty much anybody, whether it's a designer, builder, client, architect, is that because it's all in-house, the process to redo something, to rework something is very quick. A lot of times if you're buying from a cabinet factory or a lot of other cabinet showrooms, if there's any change to the cabinetry once the cabinetry is built, you got to go back into the whole process. You got to send in a reorder, you got to wait for paperwork to go back and forth, you got to get back into the schedule, and it could be 6, 8, sometimes 12 weeks to get the piece that you need to finish the project. At Cadence, sometimes we can do it in a day. So we've had multiple times where we show up and a cabinet isn't exactly what we thought, or it won't fit, or something's changed, and we call our shop. We say, hey, we need this box, you know, box B. We need that rebuilt at this size, and we want it when we come back tomorrow. Boom, boom, done. And that's really helpful. And there are things that take a little bit longer. Sometimes specialty moldings or doors will take you a little bit longer, but still the process is more streamlined. So you have a lot of examples of that where we get the cabinetry on site, and nobody caught, just a mistake, nobody caught that the floor pitch changes by 1.5 inches over 10 feet. And so the full height pantry on the far end isn't gonna fit the height right. It's gonna be off now. So how do we fix that? That's an easy thing for our shop to handle very quickly. There's another side to this, which is how does Cadence in the design phase come up with solutions for things? We already know there's gonna be an issue, or the client asks for something that we've never done before. How do we come up with a good solution? So an example to this is we had a client whose father was an architect, and his father drew the kitchen, and the layout was beautiful, it worked really well, but when we sat down and started talking through how the client was going to use this space, he said that he didn't really find a good spot for his pots and pans, and the way that he likes to do pots and pans is to have them hang, not to lay them in drawers. But he wants them in a cabinet, hanging in a cabinet. Well, that's pretty easy. They make pull-out units. We can use pull-out units that you can hang pots and pans on, but there was no place in the kitchen to put one of those. Because we're a custom shop, we can get outside of stock cabinetry parameters. So we took one base cabinet that had 2 doors, and usually a base cabinet will have 2 even doors. The doors will open and they're both 15 inches wide. Well, the pull-out that we needed for these things was 18 inches wide. There's no way to get that 18-inch pull-out behind 2 doors. Not hard for us to adjust the cabinet. Make an 18-inch door and make a 12-inch door. And now you put the pull-out behind the 18. Well, then what do you do in the 12-inch? It could be cookie sheets. It could be pull-out for spices. It could be just shelves, and you put taller things in there. But the client loved this solution. Other examples that we have would be times that in a kitchen we know there's going to be something that we can't move. We have a client who had a wall that they wanted to be all full height pantries. They wanted that type of storage in their kitchen, but where we wanted to put these pantries, there was just a drywalled closet, and in that drywalled closet was a main 4-inch plumbing stack coming from the upstairs. No way that we're going to move that. The costs were prohibitive. So we built the pantries so that from the front they look like full height pantries, but when you get to that spot, you open one door and the pantry is only 6 inches deep, and it's hiding this plumbing stack behind it. Well, those 6 inches then become a favorite spot in the kitchen. It's a tiny little cabinet, 6 inches deep, maybe 12 inches wide. But because it's not very deep, you can put things on it that don't get buried. It can be your spices, or it can be oils, or it can be liquor bottles, and nothing gets buried. And the client loves that spot because it hid something that was a problem, but when all the doors are shut, you would never know it was there. That's very typical for Cadence. And we catch that stuff in the design phase. We get all that stuff figured out. So a lot of ways as a designer that if you take the time and you think through your project, you can come up with unique, custom solutions that work. At Cadence, we can offer a cabinet build and delivery only, and the renovation company can install with their own people, or we can offer full install. We prefer to install our own product, being that we're custom, and the way that we build, the way that we think through the process, it's really helpful if the guys who are building the cabinets and the guys who are installing the cabinets are a team. And so we work really hard that way in our own process, and we think it works well for others as well. So we really prefer for a designer or a builder to ask us to build and install. But when designers want to use their own contractors to install, we then want to become a part of that process. We want to meet with the installers. We want to talk them through the cabinet drawings. We want to answer their questions. We usually give the installers our phone numbers and say, hey, if you got a question, just call us and we'll answer the question. If you need something reworked, call us right away. So even though it's not our install, we still want to be a part of the process.